Hello everyone and welcome to Boundless Dentistry. In this video we'll talk about types of tooth movements. Now types of tooth movements mainly is part of orthodontics because in most of the patients there is some form of malpositioning of the tooth. Sometimes it's placed labially, palatally, more mesially, more distally. So in order to achieve a proper occlusion, various types of tooth movements are performed in orthodontics. So in this video, we'll talk about the different types of tooth movements that are offered to the patient to correct their occlusion. So let's get started. Now, firstly, let's talk about some basic points. Tooth movement can be, for example, like tipping, translation, rotation, torquing, uprighting. We'll talk about each of them in a detail shortly. Tooth movements are basically achieved by certain orthodontic appliances. For example, you can see in this diagram, this is a labial bow which can be used to perform tipping movements. We have this Z-spring which is also used for performing tipping movements. So there are different types of orthodontic appliances that are used to perform tooth movements, different kinds of tooth movement. Now, for tooth movement to occur, we deliver certain force. Now, this force is used against the teeth that will move. It is also against the muscles and bone because there are various muscles, bone and present which keep the teeth in an equilibrium position. So this is important. And when we deliver the proper forces, it results in movement of teeth or a single tooth. Now, when we apply a force, it is applied at a particular point. Now, this is very important because where the force is applied, that determines which type of tooth movement will occur. Now, before we talk about different types of tooth movement, there are two terms that have to be clarified at this point. First is center of gravity or center of mass, and the second is center of resistance. Now, center of gravity is that point where the entire weight of the object is concentrated. Now, this point determines balance. But more important than this term is center of resistance because center of resistance is that point which determines where the force will be applied and which type of tooth movement will occur. For example, you can see in this diagram, this is a tooth. This point is the center of resistance. Now, when the force will pass directly through this point, it will result in translation movement. That is, the crown and the root both will move in the same direction. But when we apply force, for example, above this point, this will most likely result in tipping movement. That is, only the crown will move, the root will not move. So these are some basic points regarding tooth movement. Next, there are three basic type of tooth movement. First is translation, which is also known as bodily movement. Then we have pure rotation. Then we have combined rotation and translation. We'll talk about each of them in detail now. Firstly, let's talk about translation. Translation is the type of movement where the entire tooth moves. As you can see in this diagram B, when a force is applied in this direction, the root as well as the crown, they are both moving in the same direction. Both of them are moving. Now, next is rotation. In rotation, there is a center point around which the entire tooth rotates in a circle. As you can see, force is applied in this direction and this direction. The tooth will rotate around this axis. And in diagram A, you can see tipping movement. And lastly, when we combine the two types of movement, we will get translation as well as rotation. So these are the three basic types of tooth movement. Now, before we talk about the different types of tooth movement, there are certain forces effect that we should keep in mind when tooth movement are occurring. Now, center of resistance is really important because, for example, when a force is applied and it passes through the center of this center of resistance, then we'll get translation movement. But if the line of action of the force, for example, force is applied over here, it is away from the center of rotation. So when that's the case, it will result in tipping movement. So the center of resistance is really important in determining whether translation movement will occur or tipping movement will occur. So these 2 points have to be kept in mind when we're talking about tooth movement. Next, these are the different types of tooth movement that are used in orthodontics that depends on patient to patient and case to case. Different patients require one or more than one type of tooth movement. We have tipping, translation, rotation, intrusion, extrusion, uprighting, and torque. These are the values in grams, the amount of force that is used in order to achieve this individual type of tooth movement. This is the optimal force that is used. We have to keep in mind that the force should be within this range. It should not be less than or more than this, because in most of the cases, if force is excessive, it results in resorption of roots and sometimes even bone as well. Firstly, we'll talk about tipping movement. In tipping movement, as we have discussed before, only the crown moves. The root is at its same point. As you can see, when a force is applied, the crown is moving in this direction, but the apex is at its own point. It hasn't moved. So this is known as tipping movement. Now in tipping movement, the force does not pass the center of resistance as we have talked before, because force is applied over here, but the center of resistance is over here. So this will result in tipping movement. The force is applied towards the crown. Now there are different types of appliances that we can use to achieve tipping movement. For example, we can use, as we have discussed before, we can use labial bow. We can also use spring appliance. The maximum amount of force that is used in tipping movement is concentrated at the alveolar crest, as you can see in this diagram as well. So this is all about tipping movement. Next, we have translation or bodily movement. In this case, as we have discussed before, the force is applied and the force moves towards the center of resistance. See, force is applied and it's passing through the center of resistance. So when this is the case, it will result movement of the crown and the root in the same direction. So this is known as translation of bodily movement. The force passes through the center of resistance. Both crown and root move in the same direction. So this is translation movement. Thirdly, we have rotation movement. In rotation movement, the crown moves around its center of axis. So you can see force is applied, one force applies over here, the second force is applied over here, and the crown and the root, they both rotate at its axis. So in this case, you can see there is some compression of PDL as well, because PDL is attached all over the tooth. So when the tooth rotates, PDL are being compressed. The force that is required to achieve rotation is similar to the force that is required to achieve tipping movement. You can see the center of resistance is over here. One force is applied over here, second is here. This is the occlusal view and the tooth rotates around its axis. So this is rotation movement. Next, we have extrusion movement. As you can see in this diagram, this is the original position of the tooth, the crown and the root. After you have achieved extrusion, the tooth moves out. It's being extruded. You can see in this case it has been extruded 4 mm. This was the initial tooth position and this is the tooth movement that was required and it has been achieved. So this is known as extrusion movement. Tooth is being moved out in the downwards direction for maxilla and in upward direction for mandible, depending on case to case. Now there is no PDL compression, because you can see if when the tooth is being extruded moving out, PDL are not being compressed, although there is some tension, because when the PDL are being stretched, tension will develop. So and when the tooth is moving in this direction, because this place has now been empty, there will be some bone deposition. So this is all about extrusion movement. When the tooth moves out, it is known as extrusion, but when the tooth moves in, it is known as intrusion movement. As you can see in this diagram, force is applied in this direction. This is the original position of the tooth, and now when you will apply force in this direction, this will be the position of the tooth that is required. The tooth is moving in this direction towards the apex. So this is known as intrusion movement. All of the structures that are present, for example PDL, bone, they're all under pressure because force is being exerted over here. The force is concentrated mainly at the apex because the force is in this direction. Now light force is used as compared to heavy force, because when you use heavy force, it leads to root resorption. The size of the root will shrink. If this is excessive, it can even lead to mobility of the tooth. So you have to keep this thing in mind, that the force should be minimal, it's optimal to achieve intrusion. So this is all about intrusion movement. Now talking about root uprighting. In root uprighting, there is mainly movement of the root only, not the crown. The movement that in the root that takes place is either mesially or distally, depending on the case. See, this was the original position of the tooth. You move it in this direction, so it is moving mesially or it can move distally, depending on the case. Now, the force is applied with the fulcrum in the ground. So this is about root uprighting. Either the root is moving mesially or distally. The crown position does not change mainly. Now lastly, talking about root torque. This is also a movement that is specialized to the root only. Now in this case, when root uprighting, it was mesiodistal movement of the root, but in root torque, it is either labial or palatal movement of the apices. As you can see in this diagram, this is the center of resistance. Now this is a protruded tooth, so we have to move the tooth back. So force is applied over here, and this was the original position of the root, and now see the change in position. You can see, you can appreciate the change in the position. So this is known as root torque. So in this video we talked about different types of tooth movement that are used in orthodontics. Certain factors are to be kept in mind. For example, you have to keep in mind the center of resistance, because if the force passes through center of resistance, it will result in translation movement. But if the center of resistance and the force are away from each other, it will result in tipping movement. We talked about different types of tooth movement: tipping, translation, root torque, root uprighting, rotation, and so on. So these are the important tooth movement that are used in orthodontics. So I hope this video was useful for you, and if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.